and welcome to Look Down There, the show where we talk about all the things we don't talk about. I'm your host, Michelle Amore. Today, my guest is the community manager for a brand new social media platform called Lips. Lips is open and welcoming to women, non-binary folks, and LGBTQIA+. And it is a place for open and honest expression without bias, censorship, and harassment. What a novel idea! Please welcome the community manager of Lips, Val Elefante. Hi, Val.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Yes, thank you for coming and thank you for doing the goddess's work and making this happen, right?
Oh, yay. No, of course, it's all for the community. Like, we all need this. So
Yeah,
it's
I'll
my
tell
honor.
you. I'll tell you. I spend most of my day, most of my time, trying to figure out how to work around censorship and how to talk about the things that I do without actually talking about the things that I do, and trying to come up with different code words for everything and making sure I don't show too much shoulder. And it's very stressful. So I'm happy to have found Lips, and I found Lips through a student of mine. I teach a class called Pussy Confidence, and
Mm.
she was like, "Oh, hey, check out Lips Zine. Maybe you're interested in this." And so I started following you and keeping up with your happenings and waiting with bated breath for your platform to come out. So before we get into the platform, tell me about Lipzine and how you started moving through that account and
Yeah,
yeah.
I love talking about the origin of Lips because, for many reasons. So, Lips started as a university campus scene. Annie Brown, who's the founder, was an undergrad at William and Mary, and she, in her introduction to women's studies course, had to do a final project, and it was pretty open ended, I guess. So you could do anything, and she was like, "I want to start a zine for the campus where I invite folks, anyone to submit." Anyone, but especially women in the queer community, to submit just self expression. And that includes sexual self expression, nudity, sort of whatever you felt like you didn't have a place to put, or whatever kind of expression you felt like there was no other place for. And she opened up the zine. She allowed people to send her their work, to submit anonymously to a PO box if they would prefer. And she started collecting all these submissions and putting them, gluing them together into a print zine that she then distributed around campus. And the first one was for her final project for her women's studies class. But she loved doing it. And the people who submitted loved it so much that she carried on doing it for the rest of her college experience. And then not only that, but friends at other universities in the area, and across like the country started opening up their own like chapters of Lips. And so like the idea kind of just spread of like a university print zine that was, especially for women and the queer community, but really just open to anyone for like freer self-expression, and especially sexual self-expression. So that's where it starts. And I love telling that story because I feel like so much of my own sort of comfort and self-growth and self-exploration came during college. And I wish that we would have had a lip zine on my college campus. We didn't, unfortunately, but yeah, I joined the team, that was like 10 years ago. And so I joined the team, that was in 2008. I joined the team in 2019 when I was a college senior and researching for my senior thesis, and came across Lips, which had turned into a digital platform, so a digital zine. And I was like, wow, this is an amazing idea. I see, the purpose of this. I see the mission. I really believe in this. Like, hey, Annie, and cold, like, LinkedIn messaged her. How can I help you? How can I get involved?
Oh, that's a great story. I love that. And yeah, it's so important to have that kind of art and have access to that kind of art, especially in those college years, right? So, she moved everything to digital. Is it still like a physical magazine or?
Yeah, it's no longer a physical magazine. She moved it online once she graduated, and she went into, like, she worked for Planned Parenthood for a while, worked for Grameen Bank for a while, then got into startups. So she was like a working woman, and but wanted to continue doing lip. So she made a website where people could submit. So it was just lipzine.com, and people could submit through the website, and she would publish stuff on a website. And then at some point, she also made an Instagram account. So people were sending us stuff and DMing her stuff. So we started growing on social media as well. And then I guess somewhere around 2019, which is when I found out about Lips, was when she was crowdfunding on I Fund Women, a crowdfunding site for like female entrepreneurs. And she was looking to crowdfund for $10,000 to turn Lips into a social media platform. So from a zine, a print publication and an Instagram account, into a full-on social media platform for all of these submissions, a safer place for women and the queer community to express themselves authentically on their own. And yeah, I saw the crowdfunding campaign, and that's what spurred me to reach out to her.
Yeah, I mean, some of the content on Lips, is it lips.zine? Is that the
Lips underscore zine, yeah, on
Lips underscore
Instagram.
zine? Yeah,
Mhm.
so I mean, some of that content, isn't quote unquote suitable for Instagram. And so I'm sure that is super frustrating because how do you keep growing your brand when you can't, again, like show what you're actually doing?
Yes,
So
exactly.
frustrating. Yeah.
Totally. And, we have tried to be a place for, because yes, our account gets shadow banned and censored a lot. Like we'll get like, this post violated the community guidelines all the time, but we do have a decent following. And so we have become hyper conscious of when that happens to other people. And that was sort of how Annie, for many years, built such a close knit community and was able to build trust within the community, was by amplifying that on the platform and amplifying what happens to creators when they violate the guidelines, but not actually. And so Lips not only became a place, I mean, yes, we were censored a ton, but we also became a place for people to go when they were censored to be like, help me. And then we would post about that and be like, everybody go, report to Instagram that this person's account was deleted. Because when it's an individual, it's like, it could be someone's livelihood. And so we're like, Instagram, so we would mobilize like a bunch of our following to get, their accounts like reinstated or whatever it may be, for them to even just like pay attention to these creators who are like, needing to honestly waste time. And that was kind of what you were just mentioning, like waste time, trying to avoid being censored and then having to beg to be uncensored. It's ridiculous.
Right. It's like you're begging to be a part of this club that you don't actually want to be a part of, but
Yeah.
you have no choice because they're so powerful.
Mm.
And how else do you get your message out there? And when you do things that are in the sexy realm, your options are really limited. And yes, you can grow your business like as if you were making, I don't know, like knitting hand warmers or something. What's a hand warmer? I don't know. But like like if you're doing something quote unquote normal, like yes, you can follow these steps and grow your business and this is how you do social media and
Yeah.
yeah, but like those things don't apply to the sexy workers and the sex workers and like So how, like, I have been trying to answer this question for a very long time. And then, of course, in December, things got a little bit more strict, and I have just been losing followers like crazy. And I was taking it personally. I'm like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing. But I don't think it's a personal thing. It's just like they're edging us out.
Yeah. Yeah. No, you are so not alone. Like there are so many creators, unfortunately, going through the same thing, and it is only getting worse. I have been so just like inspired and blown away by how these creators, whether it's sex workers, sex educators, models, body positive models, just queer influencers, like, mental health focused queer influencers, for example, so many creators who are victims to censorship and just all kinds of challenges in digital space, how they handle and the resilience that they show on mainstream platforms. Because like you said, those platforms are just not for them. It's a club that they're not part of. And it's been incredibly inspiring to watch that going through those challenges cause such strength among the community. Like it builds stronger bonds between all of us that are dealing with that kind of thing, because we all have to learn different methods from everyone else. We can't just go to, master class on social media, because we're not going to be able to learn what actually we need to learn, because we can't use half the hashtags that, might best amplify our content, because that'll just get us more shadow banned. So there's so many ways that our community has had to do extra undue labor and burden ourselves to just remain seen, to remain heard on these platforms. But honestly, it has just built us like a really strong community. That is why I'm so excited. Just be like, let's go, guys. Like, let's get out of here. Because I mean, I don't know. I think, yeah, I've just noticed, all the sex workers who have to be seen, amplify each other. I think that's a really big thing that sex workers do in digital space, is they're, reposting each other's work and constantly supporting each other, and new projects and new shoots that are launching. It's like, follow this person, like save this person's stuff, comment. So doing all of that extra work, which it's laborious for sure. But it has created a really powerful, strong community that is, I don't know, ultimately when we find the right space and are able to spread our message, is going to be a force to be reckoned with. And we already are, but even more so as we continue to organize amongst ourselves.
Right. Yeah. And you mentioned resilience, and I think that is something that we have in spades. I definitely believe that there is always a way, and like we do adapt and we can figure it out. It's a struggle, right? And
Yeah.
for a long time, people have been saying, well, there just needs to be another platform. Someone needs to start someone needs to do something. And yes, that's easy to say, right? But like, how do you do that? How do you get the money for that? And when the thing that you're fighting against is a verb, like Instagram it, like or like these things are actions now. They're not just nouns, right? So that this platform has to like get to that level to kind of compete in the same space. And so I'm so happy that I found Lips, and I joined Lips a few weeks ago, and it is so refreshing. Oh my gosh. It is like, wow. It's like you don't know what you're missing until you see it, and you're like, oh my gosh, like this is actually freedom, where people actually have freedom to express themselves, and like physically and with their words. And because that's the thing, it's like these platforms, they're not just censoring bodies, right? They're censoring voices, which is the bigger issue, right? So like just scrolling through Lips, it's like I don't feel bad like I do when I look at Instagram. Like I don't find myself falling deeper and deeper into a despair that I can't describe, I find myself like feeling encouraged and inspired and happy.
Like, I'm going to cry because I am overwhelmed with emotion when I hear you speak like that, because I feel exactly the same way. And like, it has just, I mean, working for Lips in general, I mean, and by working, okay, I have so much. So none of us are paid for what we're doing. Like, we don't have the money, which has been a very, very big challenge for us, because no one understands really, like, the people with the money just aren't able to grasp it. And they're not just going to, jump to fund the new, sex positive queer art app. It's just not, their top priority. It's not us. So it's been really hard to, basically freelance my way, like, to be able to support myself while I'm working with such a small team, with such limited resources on building Lips. And then to hear you say something like that about how, we built a very lo-fi app, but already you feel that way. And I feel that way. And going onto the app every single day, I'm like basically in tears, because I feel like other people feel that way. And just, it's such a simple app right now, but we really, every decision was made intentionally, and it's to facilitate that feeling, that feeling of, openness, freedom, vulnerability, a safer place to be who you really like are and want to be and aspire to be, like, see creators who you dream of, emulating, and I don't know, just like all of those things are what keep me like doing this every single day, despite just how hard it is to actually build it. Like, I didn't know what really I was getting into when I emailed Annie Brown that day to get involved in Lips. I didn't know that I would be spending 2 years of my post-grad life freelancing, copywriting, making basically minimum wage, working at a gym for a while until a pandemic hit and I'm unemployed. Like, I had no idea. Not to make this all about me, but like, it has been, it's challenging on the back end to put something like this together. And I'm also just every day blown away by how, I don't know, just how inspiring the people are. That's what's going to make the app, and the people that have come to Lips, and the way that they're using the platform and the way that they feel in the space. It just reminds me that, like, this is all worth it. This is important, necessary, needed. We're doing something. We're solving a problem for people. And therefore, like, we got to keep fighting until we can sustain this.
Yeah. And I'll help you fight however you need.
Thank
Um,
you. That means so much.
yeah, I really enjoy too that it's not just like thirst traps.
Hmm.
It's not just like people, I don't know, selling whatever, and like it just seems so real.
Hmm.
And I love that you also vet people before they join. Like, you can't just join, you can't
Hmm.
just sign up. Like, you have to go through an application process and be vetted, which I love.
Hmm.
And
Yeah,
are you the one doing all that, Val?
that's me.
That's
Yep.
a lot of work.
It honestly is hilarious. I have like, I just, so, I mean, most people come, they know why we built Lips, and their applications are just like, yes, obviously you get it. Welcome. Love it. And, other folks are a bit of a different experience. And, but I guess first part of that is like, yeah, like, that's one design decision that was made, that we were going to do that. And that is for the purpose of keeping people safe. And it seems to be working well. So, that design decision, along with, things like, we're putting off commenting for now because we want to build it in a way that the community has designed themselves and feels like this is going to be what keeps us safe. So like who can comment when, how do comments appear, everything about comments we're sort of putting aside. But yeah, the vetting process was something we, came upon when we were co-designing with the community, which was how we ended up like building out the app in the beginning stages was inviting folks from the artists community, sex worker community, LGBTQ youth community, and then brands like that cater to these people. So we and said like, what kinds of features, like let's just imagine, brainstorm, what might this look like? And that was a big one. And it was like, wow, if only Instagram, could have done something like this to prevent trolls from signing up. But no, trolls go on and they make 100 accounts and they can, get someone, a gay person off of the platform in no time by just reporting them 100 times. So there's just like, so much wrong with mainstream social media and so much that we learned from everything that they did wrong to apply to Lips. And so I'm excited to keep on building that way, listening and applying and building that way to keep it safe. That's the only way to do it.
Right. Yes. You keep mentioning safety, and that is such an important part of this. When you're dealing with these like really vulnerable expressions, like it's so important to maintain a safe space. And when you have that safety, it's like you have no limits then. And I think that might sound counterintuitive, right? Because safety implies boundaries, right? But when you have boundaries, you can create, like your imagination can go anywhere as soon as you have boundaries, right?
Totally. I really appreciate that and love that because that's exactly right. Like, we how we sort of think about it is this community it exists in the physical world, and we figure out ways to come together and make our art and connect and act like, I don't know, be part of larger social movements together in physical space. But the internet is a weird place. Like it's hard for the internet and in like the comfort of our homes, we can do that. But the internet is a public space. Like it's hard to build that safety into digital space. And we have to be careful, because there always are and will be forever bad actors who can infiltrate, and it's just a matter of time, like we can vet people all we want, but it's inevitable that there are bad actors that can and will slip through the cracks. And so it's been, doing everything that we can, thinking through every decision as best we can, and anticipating as much as we can proactively. And like, that's something that not many other platforms do for women, for the queer community, for sex workers. So we're doing that for the community. And then, reactively, what can we do? So, when someone does something that violates the guidelines, we can approach it afterward and, either explain to them, like we've already had to ask a couple of people to take some photos down. That's one example. We have had to remove only one user. But we have 10,000 users. And so it's a pretty good track record for, how we're facilitating this space. But yeah, we definitely have to be careful in with this whole idea of safety, because at the end of the day, it is still the internet. And unfortunately that poses its own set of challenges no matter what. But yeah, we are, definitely doing everything that we can to make it feel like a different place from anywhere else, and want to just continue that in whatever way we can.
10,000 users, and you've only been around for a
A month
month?
and a half. Yeah.
That's pretty great. That's impressive.
Thank you. Yeah. It's a lot for only, small team of three, basically, plus a few, but three real like moderators and people in there. So yep. Where's the money? I don't know, but
Yes, it will come. I do believe that if you do something that you're passionate about, that the money will find you. That's what I have to believe anyway,
Totally.
after all this time.
I'm so with you. Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I know. Um, I'm hopeful. I really am. And I think like the community that we have is so strong, and people like even you know, are willing to help us out. And that is like better than any outside person with no knowledge of anything coming in to like, you know, make money off of us. Like we don't need that situation either. So, I'm really hopeful that, you know, the community is going to get us to where we need to be, and be able to support us and ourselves like as a community. Um, but yeah, I can't wait for the day when, you know, creators are getting rich on Lips. Like that is going to be a good day.
Yeah, that would be amazing. Well, I'm happy to be a founding member.
Yes,
Would you call that a member?
absolutely. A
Yeah.
founding community member, a founding team member. Absolutely.
So for Lips, if people want to join Lips, can fans join, or is it artists only, or how does that work? How can people find you and join your platform?
Yeah, that's a great question. So it hits on what we were talking about before with the vetting process. So in order to be able to post on Lips, so post your own art, text posts, content, comment, eventually, you will have to be approved. So that's the vetting process that we have. But because we want creators to be able to bring their fans over to the platform, and, you know, eventually get rich and have their paying customers be able to view them on Lips, there is a way to create an account that doesn't have any posting abilities. So you can just create your account and follow your favorite creators, and, you know, browse their content, browse their art, eventually, you know, tip them, or however we end up like figuring out how creators can monetize, buying their products, their art. So anyone on the internet will be able to do that. People who make accounts, and then you can actually even just browse on Lips as well. So if you don't even want to sign up with your information, you can just browse Lips, and then, you know, you can see everything that's public on the site as well. So we have these different, again, design decisions that we, you know, came up with as a result of these sessions that we held with creators themselves. And this seemed like the best way to keep the space safe, you know, keep it a place for creators to connect, first and foremost, to be able to share and connect with each other, and, you know, be our community. But also knowing that so many people, you know, rely on the support that they get from whoever, you know, their fans. So, and those people might not necessarily need to exist as much more beyond that on Lips, you know, besides for just fans who support their favorite creators. So we've built that tiered system to facilitate all of that, and to facilitate, you know, economic growth and mobility of our creators, to facilitate the creative, you know, I guess just creative exploration and creative creativity of our creators, you know, giving them a place that feels safer to post their work that is more vulnerable, or share more open and honestly. And yeah, and obviously without censorship and without harassment. And that's another big part of not having, you know, just anyone commenting and anyone reporting, is that the community itself are the users who actually are contributing to the space, I think, is how we're kind of viewing it.
Yeah. Well, it's so refreshing. So thank you. Thank you for putting in all the work, all three
Yeah.
of you. Um, and so does people go to lips.social to join, or should they go to lips_zine on Instagram? Both places work.
Yeah, to join the Lips app, it's not in the App Store, because app stores do not allow any nudity or sexual content at all. So how you get the app is by going to lips.social on your web browser. On iPhone, it's Safari, and on Android, you can use Chrome, and then you save the app to your homepage. So there's a little how-to video on our Instagram, but that's how you get like the app version. But you can also do it just on desktop at lips.social on any web browser. So that's to kind of get around the whole App Store issue, which is another whole.
There's always a way. That's what
yeah. But yeah, also to follow us on Instagram, lips_zine. For now, we still exist there. We've not been deleted yet. So come check us out there.
Yes. Well, thank you, Val. Thank you so much for joining me today and sharing this great story and this great platform. I'm so excited to see it grow and make tons of money.
Yeah. Oh, thank you. Yeah, we cannot wait to just continue to build for the community, and just help them, finally feel seen and understood by a digital platform, and then help them just skyrocket their careers. Like that is the dream, of the go-to place for creators like us, sex workers, and any, women, LGBTQ, sexually oriented people or not, artists, people, anyone, literally anyone who just this is resonating for. It's about, empowering marginalized people in digital space. And that's the goal. So we are, waking up every single day with that in mind, and our heart set on making that a reality. So I really appreciate you giving me the opportunity to come and meet you and talk with you and talk about Lips. Because I'm such a fan of your work. I'm so excited to be closely following you now, so that we can continue to co-create.
Yeah, thank you, Val. Okay, everyone, this is the time. Spread your legs, spread your love. Go and follow and subscribe and be a fan. Like us, love us. Become a member of Lips. Go out and do it. And it feels funny to even talk about where to follow me on Instagram, but you can follow me on Instagram at Michelle L'Amour, or follow us at I Look Down There. And you can also find me on Lips, everybody. Yes. Thank you to my guest, Val Elefante, and a friendly reminder for you to grab a mirror and look down there.